What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back to the Toronto eSports League of Legends Tournament, Week 2, Day 1. We currently have SuperNova versus UFT. SuperNova being on the blue side, with the UFT team being on the red side, or purple side, apparently. We're currently going through picks and bans right now. The standard bans, which we seem to see more frequently, the Lee Sin and the Nidalee, Malphite, and now Kindred.
Kindred's a new one.
Definitely being a new ban. I was actually we hadn't seen Kindred yet, but I would have been entertained to at least see a Kindred jungle this game.
Yeah, I like seeing the Kindred jungle. Brings out a lot of interesting little mini games depending on where her camps or where her marks are spawning. And it's interesting to see both the teams move around that as they see those come up on the map. And the Kog'Maw ban finally coming out. We've seen that one a lot too. Super strong right now on this patch. Has that 2-item power spike where if you finish those, the Runons and the Gwinsus, you just dish out so much damage, and it's all AoE, and your attack speed is so high that no one wants to deal with that one in the game.
And now we're just waiting on the last ban coming from UFT, waiting till the last second, it seems, to get this last one out. Lissandra gonna be the last ban, so blocking either the top lane or the mid lane for picking that one up. Definitely a smart ban, very strong champion right now, but an insta-locked Fiora top lane. Cavalry, definitely knowing what he wanted.
See, there's a lot of options you can go to counterpick that Fiora. Quinn has been one we've seen a lot. Malphite, they did ban it out, but Malphite's another one we see. But we'll see what they choose to go with.
So it looks like the Gragas going into the jungle is locking that one in, and also the Alistar support. So
yeah, two
some
very strong picks.
Very strong picks coming out. All 3 picks right now have been banned in previous games. There are some very strong champions that we're seeing in this game. So already looking for a very interesting game and very different from the previous games that we've hosted tonight.
Yeah, the Alistar, I think we're going to see that one a lot. Just as we said before, all of his abilities having a lot of impact, but the Gragas, very strong early game ganker with his body slam and flash combo. He can really catch someone off guard from a lot of different angles, and if you're not prepared for it, he can provide that last burst of damage and CC that can just take out a target, just right out of the blue without you really expecting it, and you got to have your finger ready to flash as soon as you see that body slam coming.
And it looks like a fairly standard counter pick
That's
to the
Poppy
Alistar.
Jungle, if we see.
It looks like it will be a Poppy jungle, but it could also, once again, I'm going to burst your bubble here, could very well be a Poppy support and Morgana in the mid lane.
That's a good point. I never, that smite coming through probably means it's a jungle,
probably.
But the Poppy support is always an option. And
we don't leave a page overturned here.
No way.
We need to know.
Morgana jungle actually was getting some popularity, so maybe
they're
they're just gonna...
Morgana jungle.
No, she has the spell vamp passive, so stays pretty healthy in the jungle, and her ganks are so deadly.
She does.
Just hits that dark binding, and that's a dead champ coming from the jungle.
Longest CCs.
And even the red, if you have the red buff, like you wouldn't really think it helps or matters too much, but just the slow allows you to hit that dark binding.
So one thing that we can point out about this UFT team right here, the Nautilus and the Kalista. Nautilus is
tanky
it's
team.
An unbelievable amount of tankiness coming out of this team, and the one great part about the team that they're currently building is that they're giving the Kalista enough time to get her spears into people to use that rend that is just going to blow somebody up. All Kalista needs is time, and then people will die around her. But
yeah, and they are hovering that Vayne, which would be a champ that can deal with that tankiness on the other side. So once again, we're going to see another Vayne game, and well, not for sure yet.
But we're also seeing if they lock this in, the all-female team on the blue side.
Oh, baby.
Gotta love it.
Oh, baby.
Come on.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
All females.
The all-female Siren team coming out of SuperNova. But what are we currently waiting for? It's going to be probably the mid laner, because Nautilus is probably going to go up top.
That Lulu.
So who's going to face
Lulu?
Lulu?
Oh no, it's actually a Lulu support, looks like. If they keep everything the way it is, that's going to be a Morgana mid with the teleport, and Lulu going down bottom with that Ignite. So mid lane, Morgana, I mean, there's a couple options you could go. They could even go for that Yasuo here. They have the Alistar, Gragas, a lot of knock-up, and the Nautilus. And the Kalista. They have a lot of knockups.
We're also seeing that people like some strong picks like the Ahri or the Zed, the Lux, the LeBlanc, all very strong champions right now.
Options here. Yeah, I don't know if we'll... Actually, they do need some magic damage to round out their composition here, although it will be into the black shield of Morgana.
That's what I wanted to see.
That can burn through that black shield and then continue to dish out the CC. And she's also pretty safe from her distortion. She can jump back after the ult is channeled from the Morgana to stay safe.
So
you know what? It looks like they switched around.
It
Morgana
could very well,
support.
yep, could be the Morgana support and the Lulu in the mid lane. Now, I find that this is actually better for the LeBlanc. I found that I almost main LeBlanc, that and Lux, but the Morgana I always find a tricky challenge just because of that Black Shield and the binding. Sadly, with your distortion as LeBlanc, you're traveling in a straight line at your opponent, so it makes Morgana's binding incredibly easy to land, but going to be the same thing for Lulu's Glitter Lance, I have to think.
Yeah, it's going to be the same. Lulu's going to try and get the picks attached on the ingoing distortion so that when she goes out, she can still follow up with that Q and get some damage up on the backside there at the end of the fights.
So the tankiness coming out of the red team, but the sheer damage and CC and survivability potential out of the blue team.
And another protect the Vayne comp with that Fiora just doing her own thing there.
Yep, so going to be an incredible game here, guys. You should not go anywhere. We're going to take a little break while the delay starts ticking down, and we'll be back during the champion loading screen to go over some Keystone Masteries. But once again, guys, you guys are watching the Toronto Esports League of Legends Tournament Week 2, Day 1, and we have SuperNova versus UFT in this game. We'll be back in just 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Active here.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rigger, and I'm here with my co-commentator, Alex, and we are getting into our third game of Week 2, Day 1 of the Toronto eSports League of Legends tournament. We have SuperNova on the blue side facing U of T, of course, University of Toronto. We're just getting into the champion load screen here. Hopefully, we're going to talk about the Keystone Masteries, but apparently they're all running none, but there we go.
There we go.
So just looking into these a little bit more, both in the top lane, running that Grasp of the Undying, both in the jungle, running the Strength of the Ages to get a little bit tankier, both in the mid lane, running that Thunderlord's Decree, fervor in the bot lane for the ADCs. But when it comes down to the supports, we finally have a difference. The Thunderlord's on Morgana and the Wind Speaker's Calling on the Alistar for those extra heals. Blessing. There we go. Alex, that's why you're the color commentator.
Oh yeah, I got those small details down, but that is too good to give up on the Alistar. Anytime you can group up and get a nice huge heal with that Wind Speaker's Blessing, it's just so beneficial.
And did you see all of those challenger borders?
Yeah, this is a very hype match. It's going to be an exciting one. Both teams are very, very good, close to the top of the standings here. U of T is actually undefeated, 2-0, so we'll see if they can keep their streak alive and join Artificial Gravity as the only 3-0 team here tonight.
So it looks like we just have everybody going into standard lanes here. It doesn't look like there's going to be too much shenanigans going on in the early phases, but looks like they're definitely going to try to get some vision just on the entrances. Vayne and Morgana just making sure that nobody enters in their jungle. Fiora doing the same thing up in the top side. Lulu standing in mid with the LeBlanc, and it looks like nobody's going for any tricky business, but a little bit of damage already coming out of the Fiora.
That was a good chunk of damage, but depends on where she gets that vital off. It was luckily facing her, so she just jumps in, quickly gets the damage off. And but we saw how much that actually did to the Gragas there.
Even the Gragas considering going B here is probably a smart idea, going B, making sure that he can heal up. But the Fiora is doing such a great job at just kind of constantly walking towards that brush that the Gragas is going to get to the point where he's not going to have time to go B. And it looks like that's exactly what the Fiora did, placing that ward stopped the Gragas from going B. But a little bit of damage, health. But with his passive as well, it's going to get him healthy pretty darn quick.
4%, I believe, max HP regen. So just one ability is going to max that out for him.
I'm very curious though. There's the top lane. I think is going to be fantastic because these are. It's a very standard top lane with the top meta picks right now. The Nautilus versus the Fiora, and we have standard lanes, so it's just going to be a raw skill battle for a lot of these matchups, which is exactly what I see. Good League of Legends play.
Yeah, I'm happy we got the standard lanes here. Just going to see which jungler can pressure the map more, and I think for that early game, it is going to be the Gragas. The Gragas just has so many opportunities with the Flash and the Body Slam to pick up early ganks that I think that's what we're going to see. Both sides... Oh, actually, sorry. Taking that Gromp away, U of T eSports, but nothing for the bottom side of the other teams. So they're going to have a bit of an experience advantage there in the bottom.
And it's one of the scary things that we've talked about previously is that Alistar, when he hits level 2, headbutt pulverize, or even flash pulverize into the headbutt back while the Kalista is just getting those Ren stacks off on her opponents. It's an incredible advantage to be level 2 as that bot lane right now for the Kalista and Alistar, but not looking like the blue team's going to allow anything to happen. They are very top tier players, so they're just going to hang back, wait until the minions get underneath the turret, and then hopefully get as many last hits as they possibly can. But a little bit of an advantage building up for the Fiora in the top lane, 9 minions to 4, but of course these champions are all going to go underneath their turrets and do a fairly good job at last sitting underneath them.
Yeah, Nautilus has a lot of AoE clear, but you don't want to fall behind there early against the Fiora. He is likely to fall behind 10 or so CS just throughout the whole early game, but we'll see how he's able to play out that lane. We're going to see him building towards the Zerat portal, most likely, get that split push build going, and right now we do see a Poppy coming up top.
First setup.
Yeah,
there are no wards.
No camps. He's just going to ward for his top laner. So he didn't know where the Gragas started. He wasn't sure if he started Gromp, and if he had started Gromp, that would mean that that ward would see him near that top side. But since he started at the Krugs, Gragas is near the bottom side of the map, and he's going to make an invade onto the Poppy here, take those Raptors away.
And it looks like Poppy just kind of in a little bit of a wonderland here, making sure that
scuttle
took the
crab,
scuttle,
but
then just walking around.
There's a lot of camps up on her side that she's not taking. And she's only level 3, going for that early
LeBlanc,
gank,
though.
but that's actually...
And the distortion was just used, the Ignite going down from the Lulu, but the Ignite also going down from the LeBlanc. The Poppy's going to try to do some damage to the LeBlanc, but is going to manage to get away from this one using that nice little clone positioning, but the Lulu having to burn her flash to get away from that one, and the LeBlanc just using her Ignite, so very nice trade for the LeBlanc in that mid lane.
I actually thought that was going to be a dead LeBlanc there. I started saying that, but I didn't see the amount of actual damage that went down on that Lulu, because once I saw the LeBlanc use that distortion, the angle that the Poppy was coming, I thought it was going to be a dead one.
Yeah, but a lot of damage going down onto the Vayne. The Ignite coming down as well, and there's the first blood for Kalista right as the game was paused. So unfortunately, the pause happening, but we're seeing just the Vayne going down on that one, even being spell immune, but just the Ren going to do so much damage to get that one done.
We saw the Morgana leaving lane to ward there, and they picked the exact right timing, right as she left.
It looks like people are saying R, so we're just trying to figure out what's exactly going on here. So the Poppy just basically saying that there was some lag issues there, so hopefully we'll get this game underway again, but pretty big thing, the Kalista in the bot lane getting that first blood on the Vayne. And the Vayne of all people, you're a little bit okay if it's the Morgana, but the Vayne is now going to miss a bunch of farm, give the Kalista that first blood, extra gold. It's just going to make her snowball so much quicker.
We might actually see a dive here. Gragas coming around the backside, does have flash available, but Morgana sensing that something was up. Well, he saw the ward getting taken out, so just deciding to back off. And, well, he's still in a bit of danger here. He has to be a little bit careful.
Yep, and it looks like the Morgana being very ballsy here, trying to make something happen onto this Gragas, or at least try to steal the Krugs away. But
one Krug at least.
Definitely got a little bit of gold though. But it looks like the Nautilus TPing back in, gonna lock down the Fiora, miss the riposte, and it looks like the Fiora taking a lot of damage. But using those vitals to heal herself back up is gonna stay alive during that engagement. But looks like the LeBlanc also took quite a bit of damage. I don't know if it was the Poppy who dished that one out or the Lulu, but Nautilus almost getting the kill onto the Fiora, but some very nice Fiora mechanics making sure she could get out of there scot-free.
Yeah, this is a pretty solid invade from the Poppy, considering that his enemy top laner is rather safe here. He has no backup from his top laner, does have the mid pressure, but just going for that blind invade there onto the Gragas, able to pick up his whole topside jungle, Raptors and Krugs, uncontested.
And so just looking down a little bit at these CS scores, it's pretty pertinent just looking at 8.6k to 7.5k. When you're 1,000 gold ahead at 5.5 minutes, you're definitely doing something right. We have a bit of a lead in seemingly every single lane in favor of the red team. Just those few minions like here and there.
Yeah, 4 or 5 minions, but also that first blood gold and the assist. Big gold there. And Kalista is also going to pick up this big wave at the tower. Probably going to get all of them. So that's another 10 or so CS, so she's going to be up on that Vayne about 15, and that's a huge lead, 15 and a first blood. We can see Kalista being able to pressure that lane and snowball off that, so they're going to try and keep that Vayne down and not allow her to get the items that she needs to get to the late game.
But it's one of those things that when you're facing a Vayne with, especially a Lulu to give off wild growth, I can never count a Vayne out of this game. And a Black Shield as well. That Vayne gets a couple kills, or at least gets her items and gets some farm going. This Vayne could be absolutely terrifying, but the Kalista has definitely set this up appropriately, but we do have the Gragas coming up into the top lane. The Fiora's very far forward, but we do see the ultimate coming down from the Nautilus. A great flash coming out of the Fiora, dodging that dredge line, making sure that she did not get caught up by that one. If she had gotten hooked by that, could have very well been her death. But
yeah, so we talked about it last game, that Gragas, once you see that body slam, you know, at any time the flash could come out, and it's just very hard to react to in that last second flash.
We do have a gank going down in the bot lane here. The Morgana going to put the Black Shield on. It looks like the binding is going to miss. The Kalista getting the Ignite on. The Condemned landing, but a great pulverize from the Alistar going to stop the Poppy from getting in range to get that body slam against the wall. And it looks like the Kalista's doing a lot of damage to this Poppy. Going to try to use her jump to get into range, but looks like they're not going to engage on this. The binding just going down with the pool is going to just be enough. But yeah, sadly, this Kalista just being too damn strong, and a great play from the Alistar to stop the comboed CC from the blue team.
They were going for that easy setup of the Condemn and then the Poppy charge into the wall. But didn't quite work out for them. As you said, great play by Alistar to disengage that one. I would like to see, next time they have 3 men, clearing out that pink ward. Just someone walk into that brush just to at least get vision on it. You only want to clear it out when you have the numbers advantage there. So when Poppy was there, they should have taken advantage. No flash on Fiora.
Fiora is going to get the great explosive cast coming out of the Gragas to make sure that the Fiora get pinned back up against that wall when she did manage to escape with her Q.
Yeah,
and that was just a picture-perfect kill, abusing the fact that Fiora did not have her flash available.
Nautilus did have to use his flash, but I mean,
we have a drunk ghost, Alex. We have a drunk ghost down at the Dragon.
It's had too much, and it's just... I think actually, you know, that is a Kalista mechanic that you can do.
The Alistar coming in, getting the headbutt onto the Lulu, the Ignite coming down as well, but an amazing Poppy ultimate.
Just in the right place, too. Like, he's a jungler. He doesn't have to be there, but showing up at the right time with the ultimate off cooldown, able to save that 3 versus 1 dive.
And the Lulu did not have her flash available either, so that was going to be a very, very close fight.
Still not getting that pink ward, though.
Yeah, the pink ward's still not there.
2 members were away for so long, and Morgana's in that river. Just at least get vision of it so that next time you know you can take it out.
Yeah, but just been looking like a solid amount of pressure coming all over the map for this red team, but... just in terms of that last fight, Lulu not having her flash, that could have very well been a kill onto the Lulu, but that Poppy landing a double full ultimate on the Alistar and the Gragas, just fantastic play from the Poppy being at the right place at the right time. And
yeah, excited to see more of that as the game comes. You know, you can hit 2 people out of the team fight, of a 5-member team fight, and it just gives you that advantage that you can't really expect.
So there's the grand challenge going down onto the Nautilus. A great amount of CC coming out. She is going to get the heal, so she's not going to die anytime soon. Trying to get those vitals off, but Nautilus just being so tanky. And currently the Poppy just doing the Krugs, but they might very well try to make a dive out of this one. Poppy now coming in. Poppy's at half HP though, so
in that bush that they need to take out before they go any farther.
Tricky. Here. Nautilus is so tanky, and he does have his ultimate available. The depth charge is live, so it could very well spell the death of one of these blue side members if they do decide to turret dive, but they're not going to do it. Looks like they're actually pinging for the Rift Herald instead. The Gragas is currently walking up towards the mid lane for a gank on the Poppy, but it could be the right time. Could be the right time to do the Rift Herald.
Yeah, it is a good time. They have vision of him clearing out this pink ward, so they're going to... and Fiora was also pushing that top lane, and Nautilus has no vision, so he's pretty scared of a dive. But once they see this Rift Herald drop, he's...
The teleport coming down from the Nautilus down into the bot lane. They are turret diving. There are 4 members of the enemy team here. The Kalista ultimate putting it onto the Alistar, trying to get the Vayne down. 2 turret shots going onto the Kalista. She has to run away from this one, but it doesn't even matter. The Gragas is going to be there to make sure that he tanks the turret and also picks up a kill. That was just a clean dive while Fiora tries to make something happen on the LeBlanc in the mid lane, but that was a 2-for-0 exchange.
Yeah, 2-for-0. Just really clean play. Trading the tower aggro properly there. I believe Kalista had it to start and then got out of range and traded it with one of the more tanky members. So clean dive, which is always a little bit difficult to pull off. And a great teleport from Nautilus in a ward that was perfectly placed for that one.
Yep, very well done. It's always unfortunate when a fight happens when the teleport is coming through and they don't manage to get part of the fight, but it looks like a great engage going down onto the Lulu. Is the Ignite not going to be enough, but one more Sigil of Silence coming out of the LeBlanc is going to be enough to secure the kill onto the Lulu.
Lulu had just flashed in that fight, so LeBlanc knew that all she had to do was flash and then get that last tick of damage for the kill. Great solo kill there by the LeBlanc.
And LeBlanc just being one of those champions that if you can land your ethereal chains, it's just the amount of damage you can pop out after your Sigil.
Yeah, if you have your ultimate up, you can get that double stun off, and that's around 4.5 or so seconds of CC just on your own. But we see here that Toronto U of T going for that lane swap. They took down the tower. Really great play, getting the lane swap in there. Super strong Kalista is going to be able to pressure out that Fiora, as we just saw. Not tanky enough to deal with the E, and she won't be able to riposte the E either. It's a bit...
Fiora's got to be careful because the Alistar has his ultimate. He could very well turret dive this with the Kalista.
Yeah, but she is calling for backup. Poppy and Morgana on her way. I like the move leaving Vayne in the bottom lane against the Nautilus.
And that was half of Fiora's HP with just a couple auto attacks. Now almost at a quarter HP, so...
But she has a lot of backup here. They're really trying to save this tower. So we're going to see a one-on-one in the bottom lane, but what this means is that Gragas has free range around the map.
But here comes the fight in the top lane. Looks like the Kalista does get taken down with the grand challenge on the Fiora. The Fiora now going on to the Alistar. The Unbreakable Will is going to take up a lot of damage, but right now you have the LeBlanc and the Gragas coming up to the top lane, but it looks like the blue side knows this and they don't want to press their luck. They're happy with the 1 kill on the Kalista.
Definitely a solid play. It was 3 against 2. taking that advantage and taking away that Callista, who had been, you know, farming up and getting quite strong. And it just buys more time for that Vayne in the bottom lane to keep farming minions. And we see a TP from Fiora here. And Lulu.
Going down into the bot lane, the Nautilus is currently available, but he's just going to flash right over top of the wall, knowing that his team is nearby in that mid lane, and that is just a flash for 2 TPs. But it looks like he is baiting it out. The ultimate going down onto the Vayne, the LeBlanc trying to get in onto the Vayne as well, but is going to use the second part of the distortion. Looks like the Morgana just trying to push some interference on this one, trying to take the attention off of the Vayne.
Gragas caught him with a flash body slam into flash, so instant combo. Instantly knocks the cask, knocks him back into the team, and just a pretty solid, clean kill there on the Morgana before she was able to use that black shield.
Yeah, but while all this is going on, so the Morgana did die, the LeBlanc didn't manage to take down the Vayne quickly enough, but while all this is going down, the ADCs are now just getting free farms. So if you were to put, Alex, just for a hypothetical situation, if you were to give all the farm and all the kills to both of these ADCs, which one do you think is going to be carrying hyper carry mode in the late game? Do you think it's fairly even?
In the late game, I gotta give the edge to Vayne because she also has that team that can just empower her to succeed in team fights with the Lulu and the Morgana. Their abilities are just so helpful in moving around fights. Not to say that Callista doesn't have that. I mean, she has the Alistar, she has the Nautilus, all tanky members who, as you said before, are gonna allow her to get a lot of attacks off for the Ren stacks. And we see here just pressuring that Fiora, and they're either going to have to call more backup or...
I think it's going to be a little bit too late to have more people back up.
That's the thing, is that Vayne might win out in the late game, but Callista right now is along with the team's map movements, that lane swap was really big for them, taking out another tower, so that's going to be 2 towers to 0. Anytime you have that dominance, the lane swap is a solid move, and they're able to make it work, get another tower, so 2 against 0. Vayne is trying to freeze close to her tower in the bottom. Gonna back out for some items here.
Yep, 25k to 21k in favor of the red team, 6 kills to 1. We're still seeing some disparity in the CS, but not nearly as much as I would have thought. The biggest one seems to be up in the top lane and down in the bot lane. 117 CS in favor of the Nautilus compared to the 99 of Fiora, with 115 in compared to the 105 in favor of Callista, but dead even in the mid lane, which is very interesting, I find.
Yeah, they've been kind of on an island this game, farming with each other, but there have been a couple solo kills as well. So that's probably going to give the edge to LeBlanc.
But it looks like the red team also going for the dragon.
Grabbing that dragon, and with the Ren, that's going to be very easy to... Yeah, we see no vision there from the blue side. Very easy to pick that up. Her Ren is going to out-damage junglers if she can hit that for any amount of time. And making it work there, grabbing dragon number 1.
And it looks like they're coming down to the bot side. Poppy and Morgana might get caught out a little
fog
bit here.
war.
No vision.
Nice
There's the flash
flash
engage onto the Morgana.
Whoa.
The explosive cast completely missing, though, as he went over the wall with the headbutt. But the Poppy ultimate landing on all 3 people into the dragon pit.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, we're going to probably rotate mid now.
And that was the TP from the Nautilus as well. So you know what? A great Poppy ultimate, disengaging the entire thing, not losing a member. But that was the Nautilus TP coming out that was just wasted. So it's going to be a rotation in the mid lane. So UFT seems to know exactly what to do with that, but you got to give the Poppy credit for a solid ultimate disengaging in that fight. But
yeah,
looking like Fiora wants to make something happen.
On point with those ultimates this game, but it does allow a bit of pressure. There's the Zerat portal completed for the Nautilus. Great placement there.
But here we go, the big team fight in the mid lane. The Wild Growth onto the Fiora, going to try to get the Callista. A great stun against the wall from the Poppy onto the Callista, and that's going to be Poppy with a kill. The binding landing onto the All-Star, but no follow-up. Nautilus now making his way up, is going to walk right through a pink ward, though. I wonder if he's going to take the time to take this one out, or if he's just going to try to join up with his team. Not even going to notice it. Just taking a walk through the brush, noticing the pink ward, and walking away.
Pink wards are very important. You want to make sure you're actually looking or attack moving through brush, because those pink wards snowball very hard. Once you have bought one pink ward, there's no point buying another as an individual. So if you can leave it on the map, everyone gets 5 on the map and your enemy team is not killing them. It's just a huge advantage to be able to have those.
Absolutely. It looks like the second Rift Herald of the game was picked up in favor of the blue team. The Fiora looked like she was picking up that buff. Probably going to go back up to the top lane to try to just get a little bit of split push going. We're already seeing that there's a 2-turret advantage in favor of the red team. So there's a lot of free gold on the map for the blue team to take, but they just need to get those push games on.
It's going to be tough for them because they are starting to rotate that Kalista into the mid. They're really working around her in this game. They used her power in the bottom lane, got that tower, rotated her up top, got that tower, and now we just saw them setting up vision around the mid lane, and I thought we were going to see Kalista going up into the mid there, but looks like she's going up top, picking up some farm, and they're going to send Nautilus down bottom against the Vayne again.
But we are seeing 141 CS to 127 of the Kalista, so if the Vayne can continue something like this, maybe get her items a little bit quicker, but it looks like the Alistar
here. He walked, I believe, through a ward, but it's just a blue trinket.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is where Vayne mechanics come in. So a great knockback to get the pulverize off, but looks like the TPs are coming in, so it looks like this might be enough to make them run away. The explosive cast coming out to knock the Vayne away from this one, but she is going to use her final hour speed to try to get up to these guys. The Fiora here as well, going to try to do some damage. Glitterlance coming out, but not going to hit anybody, but Alistar is going to re-engage onto the Fiora and also the Lulu. Going to be taken down immediately from the LeBlanc, but the Grand Challenge is currently onto the Alistar. Not going to be enough to clean him up. She's trying to get in, but the lockdown from the Gragas and the Nautilus is going to be enough to lock her down, and that's going to be 3 kills for nothing in favor of the red team, U of T. What was that?
Great plays. Even though 2 teleports from the blue side there, not enough to save the Vayne. Vayne was saved there, but they were able to pick up 2 kills in the end. Fiora and Morgana going down. Just a great rotation there, able to follow up on the Gragas and the Alistar combo. Just so much CC as a duo there. Jungler support is a very important duo to be able to work well together. And we saw it there, just able to zone off a lot of team members until backup arrived, and 2 clean, easy kills there for
And it looks like the Gragas explosive cast just gave them so much time, knocking everybody back for everybody to collapse. It was great.
I also want to highlight the build there by Gragas, picking up another Zerat portal. So they have 2, and they're both pushing into that bot lane.
And 2 snowmen! 2 snowmen wards! Come on, this is the scariest and cutest thing I've ever seen.
Very united effort from the team. Actually, that's probably one person, but, you know, I want to see some united effort. Team fronts on the ward.
Team cold fronts.
Exactly.
So it looks like the wards and the ZZ Rod portals are going to be taken down.
Look how much time they have to spend just taking away these, and the whole time those little minions are just pushing the wave.
They are. And it's all slowly but surely amounting to damage.
They do that again. They're either able to get a tower or pressure the Baron, or even the top side. Just the fact that they have 2 portals able to be placed.
It's a huge amount of pressure on the map. You have to deal with it.
Yeah, and it's great pressure that no one has to be there for. So we'll probably see them doing that against the Vayne, who is wanting to freeze the lane. She's actually okay with those portals coming in, and she can just sit there, freeze the lane, grab a bunch of farm, but during that time, U of T is going to be taking stuff on the map. So although Vayne will be getting stronger, it might not be enough to get strong enough, fast enough.
There we go.
Before objectives around the map are being taken.
And we are seeing the Dragon's going to be up in 30 seconds here. So it looks like already U of T going and making sure that all the wards are cleared out around the Dragon, setting up pink wards of their own to make sure that it is a safe Dragon for them to pick off. Because at this point, when you're about, what, 6 point some odd or 5 point some odd K behind, it's one of those things that a mistake like doing a Dragon, getting yourself low and then getting engaged on and losing a team fight, those are the types of things that bring a team back into the game. So they definitely have to be careful. They don't want to play sloppy and just think that the Dragon is free or that the Baron is free. They're definitely playing this very methodically.
Their vision control is on point, and you see them focusing their vision around what objective they want next. And we also see they had focused some vision around the Baron, so I actually do expect them to make some Baron plays soon. But they're probably going to go back, get some more pink wards for that area, and then clear out the vision and probably try and find a pick around that area. But just want to highlight the use of the Sentinels there from Kalista. Just something that you can often forget if you are playing Kalista, just to continuously put those out. You want that ability on cooldown as much as you can because you want to have as many Sentinels going as you can. They just, another thing that vision snowballs, you know, the more you can have active, the more area it's clearing out.
And we're seeing the ZZ Rod is back.
It's back. It's
Nautilus
not
putting it down immediately.
Yeah, he's just using it to push the wave anytime he can. It's not going to be able to hit the tower. It's a bit too far away. But you can see that wave in the bottom lane. It's creating a huge wave that Fiora is now backing, and she's going to have to deal with it before she can TP anywhere. Otherwise, that's going to be a lost tower. And you see Nautilus on the minimap hovering, actually. He's waiting for Fiora to either teleport or show somewhere else, and he can continue to push that lane. And he knows it's going to be a free tower if Fiora doesn't show up.
What we are seeing right now, there are a couple key things that I'd like to note here. In terms of the bottom lane matchup right now, technically the top lane matchup, but the Nautilus versus the Fiora. The Fiora has no ability to stop the Nautilus from TPing.
Yeah, he can just do
but
as much
the
damage.
Nautilus can easily stop the Fiora from TPing. So we're kind of seeing that the Nautilus has a great time here. That he's basically waiting for the Fiora to use her TP so he can interrupt it, but he can just go whenever he really feels like.
Yeah, Nautilus is playing it very perfectly. We see Gragas taking some damage here.
But the engagement going down onto the Lulu.
Not the best cast.
Flash pulverized, but it looks like the Fiora is going to go in. She is going to make it, and now it looks like the Nautilus coming in as well. The Gragas taking a lot of damage. The Fiora is going to chase this one down. Not going to quite be able to get it. The Riposte coming out, but onto the Alistar. Not the Gragas is going to get taken down by Jish on the LeBlanc, and that looks like it's actually. I thought this was going to be more kills, but it looks like the Flash coming out of the Poppy as well. Going to dodge the pulverize from the Alistar, and it's looking like the red team just going to utilize this advantage to take down this tower, but it looks like the ultimate also coming down from the LeBlanc, utilizing that Mimic Distortion to try to get in some more damage onto the Poppy, but I really thought that there was going to be more deaths there with the double TP, but just a 2-for-1 it seemed.
Yeah, especially
1-for-1.
Especially with the all those cooldowns used on Toronto's side. They used the explosive cast, didn't really get anything for it, just got some damage on the Lulu, and then Flash Pulverize not connecting on the Alistar, so they were able to turn it around, though, and pick up a kill on that fight. Despite the 2 teleports, you're right.
Yeah, and my fault, it was a 1-for-0. Toronto did not lose anybody on that one.
Yeah,
but it looks like the LeBlanc going very aggressive on this one. The Flash coming out of the Morgana, but is going to land the binding onto the Gragas, taking a lot of damage, but able to get away from that one using a body slam, it seems. And it looks like the Vayne now going on the hunt on this one, but it's looking like the Nautilus is going to get away. But as Alex was just saying, the bot lane turret is getting destroyed, and it got taken down.
The top lane, it's
also,
in the blue bush. They never saw it. They never killed it.
Everything is getting taken down. They are now finally going to spot the ZZ Raw portal, but
not any damage on the tower, but the bot lane push was able to pick up a tower. It was pretty low already, but always want to get that global gold. They didn't have to send anyone there to do it, so definitely solid moves by Toronto eSports.
Absolutely. It's unbelievable what they've been able to do with these ZZ Raw portals. They're almost at that kind of crucial area of 10,000 gold ahead.
Banner of Command also picked up by the Nautilus, so it's only going to get harder. Lulu won't be able to deal with those minions too well, but they do have the Vayne and the Fiora able to take out those banner-empowered minions. But you know what? There it is. Banner right there.
Yep.
Pushing down the mid lane. Morgana's not going to be able to take that one out, really.
And now with that bannered minion, they're going for the Baron.
Yeah, right away to the Baron. They saw a really smart move, actually. Vayne in the top lane, Fiora in the bottom, so they knew no one could take that out. So just starting the Baron, and
blue team knows.
They know their power very well. The Rend is going to do about 1,500 damage to the Baron.
The LeBlanc getting condemned into the wall, but it's not going to be enough to actually take her down. Vayne taking about half of her life in terms of damage.
That's a
lot of the damage going down from the Fiora, getting ultimated by the Lulu and also Black Shielded by the Morgana. The red team did manage to slay the Baron. The Greg is picking up that one with Smite, and the explosive cast coming out as well. Cavalry on the Fiora is going to go down without changing any kills on that one. The Poppy taking a lot of damage, but it looks like Jisha's clone is just going to take the majority of the damage. But now Callista wanting to find this Lulu. The red buff is currently on her, so a little bit of slows, but the LeBlanc is currently very, very low. The ultimate from the Callista, the Alistar not able to get the knockup, but it looks like the Pulverize is going to be enough to pick up the Lulu. The Nautilus flashing in to get the lockdown onto the Morgana without a black shield, and it looks like she's probably going to go down. The ultimate coming down onto the Morgana to the Nautilus. Whoa. Not going to be enough to take her down, but it looks like the Morgana going to get away from this one, but Poppy being taken down. Morgana just barely getting out of that one because of the Soul Shackles not actually, well, it was just the scare of the Soul Shackles landing onto the Nautilus. So
saves the ace, but it's not going to mean much. They're still going to push with this Baron here. Going to grab an inhib, and that's going to be a lot of pressure for them. I believe Dragon should be up within
40
seconds, so
so first inhibitor of the game, 27 minutes into the game, and it looks like, though, the blue team really looking like they want to fight this one. Kalissa's incredibly
TP
low on
coming on
mana.
back.
TP coming in the backline. Lulu trying to get in here with her home guards. The Kalissa is going to get
LeBlanc
bound up,
is
and it
not
looks like
there.
Fiora getting the kill onto the Alistar. Navane now trying to do some damage onto the Gragas. Is going to get a shutdown
He's
on
so
it.
low.
The Kalissa is so incredibly low. I don't know if they're going to have enough to clean her up. She is. The Dark Binding going
They
to
got
land, and it
him.
looks like Poppy being taken down as well. So it's just the LeBlanc available. So this might be the opportunity that the blue team needs to maybe get a dragon and also maybe take down a couple turrets. But right now the only... Oh my LeBlanc damage! So even through the Black Shield, LeBlanc taking down that Morgana, but looks like the Vayne and the Lulu are currently on the hunt, but not going to want to chase down this LeBlanc. Looks like they are just going to try to take down the dragon.
Going to grab that dragon, denies the third dragon from U of T, which is the movement speed bonus, pretty huge in the this stage of the game, but also the 6% AP and AD. That might give them an edge, and they might be able to win a team fight if they can force it. I did like that move. They knew that LeBlanc was down bottom, and U of T had not backed, and they were still pretty low, missing a lot of cooldowns.
Here's LeBlanc again.
Yeah.
A lot of damage going down, the
There's
double
the-
stun,
oh
and
my.
it looks like once again a great
He goes
ultimate,
back.
but the Ignite is
That's
going to
a
be enough
beautiful
with the
play.
Sigil of Silence. This LeBlanc,
Yeah.
well, it just says it in the name, right?
Jeez,
Sheesh!
man.
What a LeBlanc!
Yeah, you gotta respect that he knew that he could immediately go back to the clone. Definitely played this matchup before. Great counter for Poppy's ultimate. Always can jump back to that distortion anywhere on the map. There's no max range, so great use there.
It's just showing the champion mastery of that one, just knowing that you can come back in, and she landed everything, and it looks
I
like
was just gonna say,
just gets another kill right onto the Morgana
yeah.
because there's no ward coverage.
yeah, I was just gonna say Morgana is pretty scared checking into those bushes. She black shielded very early, but the problem is you black shield early. LeBlanc sees that and just waits a little bit longer for the cooldown or for the shield to drop, and then
I don't even think the shield matters anymore. I think the
it
amount
doesn't-
of damage the LeBlanc is putting out.
yeah, it's true. It doesn't matter, but he saw it go down and then
Yeah.
just waited a couple seconds
But
and said, you know what?
Is
I'll
the
take
turret?
it.
There we
Oh,
go.
There's the turret.
Kalissa getting that last auto attack off, and it looks like they might try to shove in.
That
The Nautilus
Nautilus
is
in the
pushing
mid
the
lane.
mid lane. Has
So
this-
annoying.
yeah, it's just, well, how can you deal with it? The
He's
LeBlanc
got the-
using her ultimate on the distortion, trying to do a little bit of extra AoE damage. The Alistar is going to be the one getting bound, but it looks like they are going to try to engage on this one. The Alistar ultimate is going to come out.
Wow,
The grand
he got
challenge coming from
popped.
Fiora is going to absolutely blast the Callista into High Haven, but it looks like the Fiora is just going absolutely crazy with the Wild Growth. The shutdown for the LeBlanc going on favor of the Lulu. The Alistar is going to be taken down possibly by this Fiora, and Vayne getting on a killing spree, killing the
One riposte with
Nautilus.
He
And
has
come on,
no
is it going to be
CD on
enough?
the
The
Q.
Q
There it
is
is.
going to come out, and that's going to be a 4-for-none exchange. Just the Gragas getting out by the skin of his fat. Manages to escape on that one, but what happened? They're just a great. They blew up the Callista, Alex.
Yeah, it was really, I don't know what initially caught out that Callista there, but the Fiora was able to drop that grand challenge, put out a lot of damage on the Callista very quickly. And yeah, that dragon actually ending up being very important. The plus 6% AP and AD probably had a pretty big factor there in that fight. So after a game of a lot of lost fights, they're able to finally pick up 2 in a row victories. Pretty big wins here for them. They still have that inhibitor down, so they're going to wait for that to respawn, and if they can continue picking up these team fight wins, they'll be able to take some objectives of their own. However, no towers on their side, so still a very clean game from U of T, and they are going to be pushing into that bottom lane soon, trying to take that open inhibitor.
Yep. So I'm just so curious to see, because you know, looking at this blue team, when you have that Vayne and you've got the Fiora, 2 very strong hyper carries for the late game. The game is never over. We can see what they were capable of when they just managed to catch that Callista.
Fiora is approaching that time when she can just start, you know, eventually just killing down whoever she focuses with that grand challenge, and she's doing a good job of it in fights. She's able to pick off that Callista there. So yeah, you're right. With the 2 empowers on to their team, you know, they're going to be looking for that Fiora and Vayne to be performing very well in team fights, and it's going to be on a lot of their positioning.
Yep, so
how much damage they can get off. And
we
that's how they're going to win.
Are also seeing a ZZ Rot portal purchased by Poppy, so trying to return the favor in the ZZ Rot portal domain.
Yeah, you just can't fall behind on that side pressure, side lane pressure if one team has it. But you see there, the placement just not as good for the Poppy. They're able to focus it down, take it out. Placement of that Zerat portal is very important, and how quickly it goes down.
And the TP now down for the Fiora. It looks like they're doing kind of the 3-1-1 pushing strategy here, trying to take down that top lane turret with the ZZ Rot portal that the Nautilus put down. Very, very important for that to be done. But we're just kind of seeing it's just them trying to strangle out the blue team right now. Just
they're slowly
making
working
sure
their way into that inhibitor. They really want to take that down before the next Baron is up and 30 seconds. If they can grab either the bottom or the middle inhibitor, that's huge for the next Baron fight, because it just adds so much pressure along with the Zerat and the Banner of Command. So you see them kiting back when they see enemies coming, and then trying to work their way back in and get a little bit of damage off with the... I'm expecting an engage
very
pretty
soon,
right here.
And it looks like, there we go, the Pulverize landing onto the Poppy, the Black Shield going down. The teleport coming down from the Nautilus might be a little bit premature, but it's going to be enough to take down that bottom tier inhibitor. But it looks like the ultimate going down, knocking the Alistar away, so there's any defense for the squishy line now currently on the outside of the base. The LeBlanc is going to be taken down very, very quickly. That is a very, very solid person to take down, but sadly you're trading the LeBlanc's life for an inhibitor, which I don't think in any planet or any region that's a worthwhile trade in favor of the blue team.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to pick up anything off that advantage. They still have the control of the whole map.
Now it is, though, a 5v4. They could go for the Dragon or the Baron.
Yeah, we have seen 2 fights in a row. They knew that they were a bit stronger with man advantage, but smart move by U of T to just back off, wait for that LeBlanc, and then we're going to see them go for that probably Baron first or Dragon, either one. They are going to... You know what? There is going to be no dragon for them to pick up, so they'll probably fight around that Baron with the bottom side lane pressure, no inhibitor. Probably safest move to go for that Baron and just wait it out. You don't even have to start it, just get control of the area and just sit there until you know that the pressure is too much to handle. Right now they already are sending that Lulu there. She does have teleport, so in case they do start the Baron, she'll be able to join that fight. But will she be able to push out far enough to make a difference? Nautilus is not there to set up his side push, but we'll see here. They are setting up the Baron.
And it looks like with the Blanc going for the blue buff, just trying to make sure that she can cast as many spells as humanly possible, get that cooldown reduction, which is important. And they are already on it, with a Kalista and a Gragas both taking that one. It's going to go down very quickly, and once again you have the Rend and also the Smite, but it looks like the blue team having a bit of knowledge of this one with that ward. It looks like that was just put over the wall right by that Scuttle Crab. They are getting some more ward coverage onto the Baron, and it looks like that is going to be enough to scare them off, but once again, they have such great pink ward coverage that they're probably just going to take these ones out, but the pink ward does not spot that one, but now that'll spot it.
Trinket.
Nicely done. So now there is no more ward coverage for the blue team in the Baron pit, so they could very well try to do a blind Baron here, or they could try to force a fight. I would assume they're going to force a fight, but looks like the Fiora being caught, one of the most important members of the team, but there is enough members of the blue team. It looks like the teleport coming down from the Lulu. I don't know if they're going to try to engage from this one, but the disengage coming out. The Unbreakable Will is now popped by the All-Star, but it looks like the Fiora taking the majority of her damage from that LeBlanc.
Yeah, that's going to probably be the Baron started. They just saw the Fiora going super low, and look at that wave in the bottom. If you leave that, that's going to probably take out a... Look at them. They're just disengaging off the Baron. They know no TP on Lulu. No TP on Fiora. They're just going to let those minions push, and eventually that will be a lot of damage on the Nexus Tower.
And that's without a ZZ Rot portal.
Yeah, no ZZ Rot portal though, but there is one in the top lane, I believe. Yes, from the Nautilus, so that's also pushing in the top side. And they did send the Fiora, who has teleport very soon, but I don't know if U of T knows that it's up, so they might just start the Baron, and we're going to see a big fight here.
I would suggest they just start this one. Fiora teleport is almost available, but the amount of damage that these guys can throw out with the Rend, it looks like the Gragas trying to engage on this one, does have his ultimate. The Lulu taking a ton of damage, already at a quarter HP. I think they should just try to finish off this Baron, but they are all going to disengage on this one. They're going to try to take down the Poppy, but she's incredibly tanky with the Black Shield. It looks like they're trying to just engage on this Poppy to take her down, but the Dredge line is going to go onto the Poppy, but it looks like the Fiora is now here. She's just going to take down Focus. The Lulu is down. The shutdown bonus going to the Kalista, taking down the Vayne, and it looks like the Morgana down as well to the Kalista. That was a 3-for-0 exchange, and it looks like the red side, U of T, looking like they're just going to go right into this mid lane to try to push down their second inhibitor of the game.
Yeah, they have the ability to hard engage with the Gragas and the Alistar, so they're just going to take that man advantage, and there it is.
Poppy getting engaged on, Headbutt Pulverize going in on her. It looks like the Ethereal Chain's going to land as well. Poppy is going to die to the hands, or I should say the barrel of the Gragas, and it looks like that's going to be the second inhibitor going down.
You might see them just tank the end, or they have a lot of minions. ZZ Rot portal, yep.
Yeah,
They're
it looks
gonna
like
go
the
for the
grand
end here.
challenge going down onto the Greg is not going to be quite enough. She is going to
alive.
try to jump in there, but it's not going to be enough. The stair
right.
escape's just not going to be enough to keep the Fiora alive through that one. And they have enough tanky members that they can just tank this one up, and they don't even need to because Super Minions have now joined the
One
fray,
member up,
and the
that is
Nexus
it.
is going to die. So, ladies and gentlemen, U of T, the red side, being the winners of this game over SuperNova. Fantastic game. GG, well played to both sides, but it was just too much of an early game lead for the blue team to actually overcome.
Yeah, really clean win there. No turrets ever taken by the blue side, so great map rotations from U of T. We saw they were able to get that advantage in the bottom on their Callista and then move her around the map to use her advantage and take down a lot of towers. And yeah, they were solid all game there.
It looks like the stream is down. Is it?
Yep.